an impressive career spanning over 45 years. Professor Colonel Enrico Bissi had made significant contributions to the fields of medicine and humanitarian aid across 42 African countries. As a distinguished surgical doctor specializing in orthopedics and dermatology, he played a pivotal role in establishment of the Great Sudanese Hospital, providing vital funding during its inception. In Ethiopia, where he dedicated more than 2 decades of his life, Professor Enrico Bissi founded the Adama General Hospital and served as its first director of a year. He also contributed in expertise at Danu and Abet hospitals as an orthopedic surgeon, sharing his knowledge and skills. Each year, he returned from Italy to provide surgical service at Waliso Hospital, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to health care. During the Kosovo War, he selflessly relinquished his salary for an entire year to offer free medical services. Similarly, during the Ethiopia-Eritrea conflict, he was among 5 Italians who courageously arrived by helicopter to provide critical medical treatment. Professor Enrico Bissi's humanitarian efforts extended through his involvement with the Sergio International Humanitarian Organization, where he provided invaluable support to those in need. He was also a key figure in Alcoveni, a prominent non-governmental organization in Europe. A man of profound compassion, Professor Bissi embraced individuals regardless of their skin color, race, or religion. In Milan, he established the Naga Medical Center, offering free medical assistance to African immigrants and others facing financial hardships or lacking proper immigration documentation. While some refer to their homeland as their father's or mother's country, Professor Bissi proudly declares Ethiopia as the homeland of his son Caleb. His deep affection for Ethiopia is evident in his extensive literary contributions. Among his 46 published works in English and Italian, 7 focuses especially on Ethiopian history. His writings are recognized as significant contributions to Ethiopian heritage and serve as valuable resources for further study and research. Notable works including The History of Imperial Ethiopian Army, which took about 10 years to write, Dasta's Years in Life, 1892-1937, and Ethiopia La Monta Africana. His scholarship has elevated Ethiopia's profile globally, including promoting its status at the origin of coffee in his book. Professor Colonel Enrico Bissi was not only a scholar and a medical professional, but also a talented translator and artist. He translated The Little Prince into 55 languages, donating copies to the Catholic University of Milan. His fine art further showcases his diverse talents and artistic sensibilities. Tragically, Professor Colonel Enrico Bissi passed away on June 10, 2024. However, his legacy is immortalized through his work and the ongoing efforts of his wife, Sarah Yamana, and his son Caleb, who are committed to continuing his mission. Professor Bissi recognized the essence of humanity beyond ethnicity, language, and religion. His lifetime dedication to humanitarian support, scholarship, and artistic expression ensures that, even in passing, a person can remain at eternal presence. Hello and welcome viewers, you're watching Addis Media Network, Amen, and this is our Addis Tour program coming up to you every week. Today I'm here at the National Museum of Ethiopia and I'm going to visit an exhibition which is organized to showcase and to commemorate the life and works of Professor Enrico Bissi. Hopefully you will enjoy. Do stay with our program. Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Same.
So, thank you very much. Please introduce me yourself.
My name is Malaka Tasamma, a journalist and author. I'm a coordinator of this event.
Okay. So, what's this event actually? What is the exhibition?
The exhibition is held just commemorating the late Professor Enrico about his life and deaths.
So, what was the aim of organizing this exhibition?
Mainly, the aim is just commemorating his because he passed away last June. So we are looking forward to commemorating him. Yeah.
His life and his works, right?
Yes.
Okay. So who was Professor? Let's talk about him.
Okay. Professor Enrico is an Italian scholar. His impressive career lasts for 45 years. Among that, he worked in Africa for 42 years. He is a medical doctor, a writer, military official, translator, and he works on fine artists.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he was an artist, also a medical doctor, right?
Yeah, in his occupation. Yeah.
Okay. So let's visit the exhibition. And what do you think is the most important thing here?
The most important thing, actually, he wrote more than 46 books. Among that, 26 books are based on Ethiopian history and Ethiopian heritage.
Oh, okay.
So we can visit.
Okay, what things are displayed here?
His books and his paint works and his photographs and the like.
Okay. Let's visit it. So, did visitors come frequently here?
Yeah, they are coming frequently, especially foreigners also comes, Ethiopians.
Okay.
They are visiting starting from the opening day of.
Okay. How long this exhibition will stay?
It lasts, we programmed actually for a week, but we are looking to extend the date around 3 or 4 days. Yeah.
Because visitors are coming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think these are the covers of the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the covers of the book. His books are written in Italy language and in English. So most of them academic works, and the rest are about Ethiopian history and Ethiopian heritage. Yeah.
Okay. I am impressed. There are about 26 books written about Ethiopia, right?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the books.
These books are his masterpiece works. Especially this book is written based on the history of Imperial Ethiopian Army. It was acknowledged by the Ethiopian Defense Minister, Center for Research Development. It is recognized by them just before 3 years back. This also about Ethiopian story. This book is also written about promoting Ethiopia is the origin of coffee. Yeah.
I have been looking at this picture. I think this is the book, right? So tell me about this book.
This book is written about the history of Imperial Army of Ethiopia. Last decades during the regime of King Haile Selassie. So we can see it somewhere.
Okay.
It is one of his masterpieces, and it is recognized by the Center for Development Research.
Okay. Research about the Ethiopian National Army, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is also dedicated to his beloved wife and son, Khaled and
the Ethiopian wife, right?
Yeah.
The beautiful Ethiopian wife. Okay. So I just want to read this one. I would never give any nation power over Ethiopia. It was the Minlik's statement. Okay. What about this letter?
This is a recognition letter from the Ministry of Defense, as I told you. They recognized by the Center for Research Development, so they acknowledged him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been looking to some pictures, right? Pictures of his family or something.
Yeah.
Let's move.
This picture shows that she is Sarah Yemana, beloved of Professor Enrico. Is his son, Caleb Georgie. This photo shows about his families.
So familiarly, he just became Ethiopian, right?
Yeah, he lived in Ethiopia for 2 decades.
Wow, it's too long.
And he also worked. He's the first co-founder of the Adama Hospital, and he was the first medical director of the hospital. In the meantime, he came from Italy each year and served as a surgical director in Woliso Hospital.
Okay.
This is also family photos. This picture shows about the status of his families, so it's better and advisable to contact his wife, and she will explain to you.
So viewers, we are going to meet the beautiful Ethiopian wife of Professor. To stay with us.
I am Sarah Yamana. We are currently in a deep sorrow, but we have to accept what God chose for us, and we will reflect about Him. I met him before 27 years in Milano. He used to give medical service for foreigners. He was so kind. I didn't think that he would be my husband, but with the will of my Lord, I met a person who stayed as a good husband, good father, and best friend. I can't explain his personality very well, but his works do. He loved me and my country. He never think of color or race. He is very human who loves to give, to teach, and to serve others. That's what he teach us too. He used to travel the world through humanitarian service. I want to focus on his family life. I always wonder his patience and the ability to keep things to himself. We have one son called Caleb. He sacrificed a lot to his son. When Caleb was 1 year old, he stopped giving medical service and worked to the well-being of his son. He teach him to love his country Ethiopia beyond me. I feel like I am the luckiest lady.
በሜዲካል ላይ ዓለምን ዙሯል ብዬ አስባለሁ።
Actually, it's the first time I heard about Professor Bossi, but probably he worked in the same hospital where I'm working now here. I'm a doctor and I'm working as medical director in Woliso Hospital, St. Luke Catholic Hospital in Woliso, and I read on the information that also he worked there. And I'm working here with Kuama, Doctor with Africa Kuama, that is this organization that built the hospital in Woliso, and probably the doctors that work before me, probably they work together, Professor Bossi, and probably they knew him. It's very interesting because he was a very big man. For doctor, as a doctor, he worked as doctor, but he was also interested in the history of Ethiopia. He wrote many books about Ethiopia, so he's very deep man, someone that he work here in Ethiopia, he stay here, he stay with the people of Ethiopia. There are a lot of things that we can learn from him. I'm here for 5 months, so I have to learn. I just started the last month to learn Amharic, just to understand the letters, the Fidel. This is the alphabetic Amharic. Is bigger than what we use in Italy. It's very difficult, but it's very interesting because all the history of Ethiopia is very interesting. It's a old history. We have not century, millennium of history behind behind these people. And there are many things. We saw today the National Museum, the Ethnographic Museum, a lot of things that we have to learn about Ethiopia. It's a very interesting place.
Enrico was a best friend. It doesn't really happen much. Real friendship in life, 1, 2, 3. So I had a chance. I was in Milan just 2 months before he died in July, and I felt a need to go and see him. He lived some 30 kilometers outside. It was complicated. I didn't have a car, but I said, I want to see Enrico for some internal reason. And so we spent the whole day together, and what was our common passion? History.
ለእኛ ሁል ጊዜ ያገኛል 26 ዓመት ተቆጥቶ አዝኖብን አያውቅም
He always had time for his family. He had a lot to work, but also a lot time for us because we are his friends. With his tight schedule, we used to have all our meals together. We lived peacefully in love for 26 years. He loved flowers very much, and flowers are always found in our house. He loved his son very much and gave him plenty of time to grow well. He worked in 42 countries in Africa, but he never came to Ethiopia until we met, and he loved both me and Ethiopia. He knows Ethiopia's history very well, and he writes about 26 books, kind of nearly 1 book per year. He taught us a lot of things about our country. Especially our son Caleb knows about Ethiopia better than me. His mother tongue is Amharic while we were living in Milan. It shows his love and commitment to the country. What I wonder from his behavior is his silence. He mostly does not show happiness or sadness loudly. He prefers to be quiet. He never be angry on us. He just teaches us what is right and wrong. We have organized this exhibition to promote his works. A person may die, but not his works. He wrote 26 books only about Ethiopia. He gave a lot humanitarian service. He was an artist. These all things need to shine out, even if we missed him. Me and my son promised him to continue what he has been doing, and we are trying to establish a foundation on his name. We suddenly lost him. We were not ready to live without him, but rather than crying, we chose to commemorate him with such exhibition, showcasing who he exactly was as a beginning of the foundation. I would like to thank Ethiopian Heritage Authority to support us to realize what we have planned in a short period of time. We need to show our love for him with keeping what he used to do. He gave us a responsibility for this. He put me and his son's name on every book. He showed us his love and also its kind of responsibility to strengthen his service. We just start with this exhibition. We will continue what we have to do. We prefer not to announce all what we will do, but let our work still in the future.
Enrico was an amazing person. He loved Ethiopia as he is Ethiopian in blood. He wrote lots of things about Ethiopia. He promoted the culture and coffee. He was a multi-profession person. He was a medical doctor, he was a soldier, he was a writer and an artist. What impressed me a lot about Enrico is his love to Ethiopia. I have visited his home in Milano and he collected lots of artifacts of Ethiopian history. His home feels like a museum. I feel like he's interested in Sahara because he loved Ethiopian history. He served Ethiopia in passion with his professions.
He never cared for money. He told me he was born the son of a notary, which means a wealthy person by birth, who just sits there. He's worked. There are people that do the sort of job that Wulna Mazresha do here, but they pay them well in Italy to that. So he didn't ever have a problem with money, and he was extremely generous. He would spend years on end setting up hospitals, because that was his buya. And as a traumatologist, he would always be in the field. As a Dr. Coronel, also perhaps the war fields, he set up, I can't remember, in 20 countries, like Rwanda, Kosovo, Albania. He was there doing emergency hospitals. In fact, he was one of the co-founders of a very famous international aid organization called Emergency. It was one of his younger doctors, very famous, Gino Strada, who founded this organization. And so what I remember of him is careless of money and generosity.
ይህን ኤግዚቢሽን በሬዲዮ ነው የሰማሁት።
I heard about this exhibition on radio. I was inspired by his history and decided to visit the exhibition to know more about Professor and his works. When I come and visit the exhibition, I get impressed more. I read a short and brief history of the Professor. I looked at expressive photographs of the Professor and his family. I found the books written by him. I was also wondering how I didn't know such kind of person who contributed a lot for Ethiopia and Africa. I'm very happy with what I have seen, and I was wondering how a person can be a military person, a medical doctor, a painter, and a writer at a time. I looked at the paintings. They are very amazing. When I looked at the large volume books, I understand that a lot of time has been dedicated. Being a medical doctor is vast by its own. Also, Professor has been serving most part of Africa and the world on humanitarian aid. I'm still wondering how a single person can be this much huge.
Walking into the city to see how the public space it works, and then we came to visit the National Museum. And the entrance and the gate, at the gate we saw this exhibition, and we said we have to go there. Since I'm an Italian and Dr. Bossi was an Italian, for us was important to come here. And then we discovered this afternoon the doctor, the figure of the Dr. Bossi, and I do think it was a really interesting person, since he had interest in different activities, not only in medicine, not only in art, but in the whole idea of what humans could be, especially here in Ethiopia. I think the ability to be so much interested in so many different things, that is something that I admire a lot. I personally would be a person like Dr. Bossi, even if I discovered the figure just today, but this approach to be interested in both in arts, writing, discovering, and obviously giving a huge importance to people and looking at the importance of staying with the people is something that I do admire. So I find it so interesting. We had a common point in the history, but now we have to think about what would be next in next years. I think Italy could be, as all the Western and in particular the European countries, a huge partner to find the right way to develop and to support technological developments and sanitary achievement of what is considered as a best way to stay.
I just want to thank the Ethiopian Heritage Authority to be part of organizing this event and to promote the works of the Professor. I think such kinds of things needs to be strengthened. Showing or promoting such people won't only promote them, but it also gives a lesson for others.
So viewers, this was all for today's Our Addis Tour program. Hopefully you have enjoyed the life and works of Professor Enrico. Do stay with other programs of Addis Media Network. Amen. Goodbye for now.